Leviticus 19:31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord. Several weeks I spoke on at our church. I spoke on a subject that I don't remember hearing much about. But this is one of the things that I have wrong. My voice doesn't always cooperate with my brain. Sometimes my voice speaks without my brain, and sometimes my brain speaks, but my voice won't say it. So if I get a little mixed up, understand I really do truly have a mental condition as a result of the procedure I had several years ago. So it did mess up my equilibrium a little bit, and so I do get a little confused. I've called you Brother Gormley all week. And our people say, you mean Spears? Oh, yeah, him too, you know. So if I do get mixed up, it's not on purpose, I assure you. But I've been speaking for a few weeks on the subject of sorcery and related things to that. In the last few years, we've seen a gigantic rise in Satanism. We've seen a rise in Satan cultism. We've seen a lot of Satan worship. And that's in Cincinnati and northern Kentucky. There are stores that advertise everything satanic you need. You know, and they're not bashful about offering everything to help you worship Satan. Many Christians, and this is sad, but many Christians are totally ignorant of what's going on around them. They have their head, and I'm not being offensive, we're so focused on making sure we preach election, making sure we preach local church, making sure that we preach the fundamental doctrines, that sometimes we forget people need to know everyday fundamental lessons to be aware of what's going on around us. You know, and so I spent several weeks, you know, dealing with this subject. Now, the term sorcery is sometimes used to cover a multitude of satanic ideas. It's also sometimes used as a standalone that refers to a specific time or purpose in satanic worship. So if you see the word, it can be used in a number of ways. It's sometimes used to summarize a whole list of other things, and I'll give them to you very, very briefly. Basically, the word sorcery itself is a belief in magical spells that use occult or satanic spirits to produce unnatural effects. Now, that's a general definition, but I'm going to look at it a little more specifically. In other words, sorcery is anything that dabbles in or leads people to dabble in Satanism. It can be any number of things. I've got a glare, so my notes keep glaring out on me. 1 John chapter 4, verse 1 says, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. How do we try the spirits? It's only one way. You know, this is the only way to find out if a spirit is from God or if it is satanic. 1 Peter 5:8 says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, your enemy, your foe, the person that is anti-Christian, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour." That means he wants to destroy you. Satan never intends to reward you for serving God. Everything Satan does is to destroy you as a Christian. We need to be vigilant. We need to understand that Satan is our enemy, and anything that dabbles with our enemy is considered treason. And as Christians, well, I'll share that later. As Christians, especially as pastors, we need to know about, and then we need to warn our people, or the people that God has placed under our supervision, that Satan will do anything and everything to destroy your body, to destroy your emotions, to destroy your mind, and most of all, to destroy your relationship with God. He knows no limit. While much of what I plan to say will center around Satanism in particular, I also want to show some things that Satan uses that we probably have not thought of as being sorcery or satanic tools to destroy us. First of all, there are many names, and I had a long list. In fact, I had a whole page of names that are used in association with sorcery. And I had a long definition for each of those when I gave this at our church. I've narrowed it down to 6, and I'm going to give a one-line definition. It's not a technical definition, but at least it'll give you the idea. First of all, there's divination, which simply means the ability to foretell the future. I made the statement at our church, sometimes I would like to know what the future holds. And then after church, one of our ladies corrected me. She said, "Brother, I don't want to know the future. I would worry myself sick if I knew the future. I would try to avoid it. I would try to make God's future not happen." And she had a good point. As Christians, we are to live by faith. And by faith means I don't know the future. I don't need to know the future, because by faith I know the one who holds the future. And so if I knew the future, had I known I was going to fall off of an 8-foot ladder and shatter my whole body, I would have avoided that ladder like the plague. But as it is, in my stupidity, I thought, I can climb an 8-foot ladder. Don't bother to lock the legs in. Don't bother that it's wobbly. And don't bother that I had to lean way over to get to the light. Stupidity. But if I had known, I got a lot of opportunities to preach to nurses and everybody else that I would not have gotten had I avoided that ladder. Now, thank God the trustees have forbidden me to touch the ladder, let alone climb up it. But I'm glad I don't know the future. I'm glad because as a Christian, we live by faith. Then there is an observer of times. And I don't understand the significance, but ladies, I've seen a lot of ladies do this. If you do something in the kitchen, you throw a pinch of salt behind you. I've never figured that out other than you got to clean the salt up. But it's observing the times. Oh, I can't go forward because a black cat crossed my path. Well, you know what? A black cat's no different than a white cat or a gray cat or any other cat. If you break a mirror, you're going to have 7 years of bad luck. My wife's had 54 years of bad luck. And she didn't even break a mirror. But there are people that believe that. And they follow that. They won't get out of bed until they read their horoscope to see how the signs line up to tell them what to expect that day. I read mine once, and it said, you're going to meet a stranger today. Wow, that's really ingenious. I like what Abe Lincoln said. He said, I've never met a stranger, just friends that I hadn't met yet. That's me. That's me. So saying in my horoscope, I'm going to meet a stranger is about as predictive as saying the sun is up. You know, that's a given. Moving on, there are witches. That is someone in covenant with Satan to harm people. I'll put a spell on you. And you better watch out because my spell can harm you. Then there's charmers who pretend to heal people by magical charms. Then there's wizards who pretend to reveal secrets. I know what you did last night. And if you don't give me $50, I'm going to tell everybody. They use supposedly revealed secrets to harm other people. And then one, I have practiced the pronunciation. If I miss it, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a necromancer. Did I get it close? That is someone who claims to be able to talk to the dead. I talk to dead people all the time. Some of them even fall asleep, Brother Spears. But And just for the record, they're not talking to your dead uncle or your dead mom. They're talking to demons who are impersonating your deceased mom or dad or someone else. Give you a couple of biblical examples. Remember the witch of Endor when she called up Samuel? I know there's a lot of debate whether she called up Samuel or whether she called up a demon. The Bible says Samuel spake, Samuel said. I think she got the shock of her life. I think she called up Samuel and she was shocked. But anyway, remember in Exodus when Moses went before Pharaoh, and Pharaoh's sorcerers were able to mimic some of Abraham's miracles. Were they real or were they fake? They had convinced Egypt that they were real. And the Bible indicates to me that they were real. Acts chapter 8, we read about Simon the sorcerer who bewitched the people with his miracles. He was doing something supernatural that bewitched the people. And then Jesus said in Matthew 24 that in the last days false prophets shall do great signs and wonders. I don't know what all it's going to be, but it's going to be great signs and wonders that if it were possible, they would deceive even the very elect. So there's going to be something supernatural there. Now, I put this in, and you'll understand in a few minutes. Sin does have pleasure. Remember in Hebrews chapter 11, the Bible was talking about Moses choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Sin does offer a moment of pleasure to trap you, to ensnare you. My dad's, if we got sick growing up, my dad had a cure-all for everything. And you're all wondering what this miracle cure is. If you got sick, bring out the castor oil. That would cure anything. But to help you get it down, what is it? A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Satan puts just enough sugar there to make it sweet to the taste, to make it palatable, to make it seem good without realizing you're taking castor oil in that sugar. And that's how sin is. That's how Satan works. Satan never shows the downside until after you are trapped. I used the illustration, and I'm very conscious. I'm a very big proponent, thou shalt not steal. You don't steal money, you don't steal material, and you certainly don't steal time. before lunch. Very big proponent. Don't get in the way of lunch. But I can remember as a kid, that was so cool. Man, the movie stars were all Satan doesn't show you the person in the hospital dying with lung cancer. Doesn't show you the person that got throat cancer and had to have half of their throat removed. He doesn't show you the downside. He only shows you the upside. Homes have been destroyed and lives ruined because someone thought it was more pleasurable to get drunk and drive than anything else. Oh, he didn't start out planning to kill someone. He didn't start out planning to destroy his home. He didn't start out trying to go bankrupt, spend all of his money on alcohol, leaving his family without food and without clothes. He didn't start off that way. That was not his plan when he took that first drink. Satan doesn't show you the broken home, the beaten wives, the beaten kids. No, he wants to entice you. Satan doesn't show the destruction, the grief, the heartache, the brokenness, and the ruined lives because of adultery. Oh, I'm just going to have a little fun. Yeah, there is pleasure. Yes, sir. But Satan starts so innocent. Many people think the Ouija board is just a fun game. If you have one, please don't tell me. I don't want to know. But the Ouija board is a satanic tool that Satan uses. Oh, this is fun. Until it becomes an addiction. Until you begin to believe in it. And to really think that that's going to tell you what God's will is. Years ago, I had a parent call me. I was pastoring up in West Milton, Ohio. And a parent called me and said, "Are you familiar with Dungeons and Dragons?" And I said, "Never heard of it. What is it?" She said, "Well, it's a game." This is before cell phones, but it's a game, and my son has really gotten into it, and I want to know what it's about. I said, "Let me do some research." I did some research, called her back, and I said, "Throw your kid's toy away, get rid of it. It is satanic from start to finish. It is of the devil. It preaches devil worship. It uses spells." I said, "Throw it away, because it is nothing but a tool of the devil to trap your son and lead to worse things." Now, I don't know if Dungeons and Dragons is still out there or not. I'm looking to see how many of you know. Oh, you either don't know or you're playing dumb. Either way, now they've got games where kids go and just kill people, mow people down like nothing. They don't realize that they're being desensitized. to human life. If I can kill it on a screen, what's the difference in killing somebody on the screen than killing them in person? And they've got, I've seen them. I've not played it. Don't think I'm one of those. But, it's like, I just shot 20 of you right there. Just killed 20 of you. And then soon the game doesn't satisfy. And then you begin killing real people because you've been desensitized. Beware of reading the cards or reading the lines in your palm. Those are all tools of Satan to get the hook in your mouth and then reel you in to something far worse. Don't even play around with satanic objects, because it will slowly enslave you. And then you're looking for the next fix, and the next fix, and the next fix. And there's no end until you die or God straightens you out. Now, what are some other satanic tools that he uses to destroy people? And these are not in any particular order other than the order I thought of them. Pornography is a national crisis. And I recently read that preachers are multitudes of preachers have been ensnared through pornography. It's designed, the whole purpose is to appeal to the lust of the flesh. And it does bring pleasure. Now, what I'm saying is not by experience. It's by observation and testimony of others. I remember the first time I heard somebody use the phrase soft porn. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I don't want to be rude, but soft porn is basically nudity. It's just nudity, that's it. That's considered soft porn. Well, if that's soft porn, what is hard porn? That's where you start getting into bestiality. That's when you start getting into a lot of perversion. It's soft porn, but it leads to something else. It escalates. And then soon you become desensitized and you start looking for real women to carry out your fantasies. And that's where a lot of rapists got started, is with soft porn that led to something else, that led to something else. And finally, that didn't satisfy. And so they began looking for females that they could take it to the next level. And sadly, it was not long ago, just a couple of weeks ago, news in our area, local youth pastor arrested for child molestation that started with pornography. Oh, I can control myself. You're an idiot. I don't know of any other word to use. If you could control yourself, why would the Bible say, avoid fornication? Avoid this. Stay away from this. Solomon had many, many words to say about the strange woman and how she entices. Now, I'm going to get in trouble, but cigarettes are a satanic tool to destroy Christians. Somebody said, oh, you're crazy. Well, it's not the first time I've been called crazy, and probably won't be the last. You know what cigarettes do? And I know I had an uncle, I've had many, many friends. I had an uncle he smoked 2 or 3 packs a day. He had a massive heart attack, almost died. The doctors told him, you either give up your cigarettes or the next heart attack will kill you. And he said, I can't give them up. I can't. I would rather die than give up my cigarettes. Sure enough, the next heart attack got him. Like I said, I remember when it was so cool. Every kid had candy cigarettes. Y'all remember those? I want to be cool, not knowing that I'm putting in my body poison that will addict me and make me take food money to buy cigarettes. Make me take money from my kids to buy cigarettes. And perhaps give me lung cancer, throat cancer, some other kind of. When I was in Texas, one of my good friends, member of our church, God saved him late in life. But before God saved him, he had been a chain smoker. And when God saved him, God cured him. But the damage was already done. I sat by his side for days, watching him die a most excruciating death. All because Satan got him addicted, and he didn't even know what he was doing to his body. Alcohol does the same thing. Gambling does the same thing. I'm just going to bet a penny. Let's see if I've got a penny. Yes, I've got a penny. What harm can come from gambling a penny? Well, probably not much. But then it becomes a nickel. Then it becomes a dime. Then it becomes a quarter. We had a man in our area, one of the richest men in the entire county, lost over $25 million gambling. Lost his business, lost his house, lost everything because, well, I'm going to win next time. I'm going to win next time. Somebody said, what would you do if somebody gave you a ticket and it turned out to be the winning lottery ticket? And it's like, I didn't buy it. I've got nothing invested. I didn't gamble anything. I'll take it and I'll give you 1%. How's that? No, it's just the scratch-off game. That's how it starts. You know, we think of satanic tools as the Ouija board and those things. But these are just as much satanic tools as the Ouija board and the seances and all of those things. What is a Christian to do? If there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house. Don't let him in your house. Now, I know he's talking about false teachers, but I think he's talking about anything that would draw me away from God. I don't need it in my house. In the model prayer, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. We need God's help to avoid these things. It's like you hear a rattlesnake rattling, you know danger is close. Satanic tools are danger at hand.